Hey guys, what's going on? Lucky here. So, project updates. 55 Chevy in the middle of being completely rewired. That's a wire and fire. Not really much going on over there. Some parts showed up for the Joey Chevelle, Joey's 1970. So the story on this vehicle is he bought it with a big block in it. He's always had a 70 Chevelle. This is sort of a one he got that was partially done. Had a big block in it, wasn't really installed correctly. Engine had the wrong mounts. The entire time he had it, the engine was literally laying on the front cross member, so it was uncomfortable to drive and vibrations and sort of a retired, I don't know, I guess maybe a bracket racer or something. I had Lakewood ladder bars on it and just all kinds of drag race stuff. So anyway, we took all that stuff off, did a coilover conversion on it. I talked him into going with an LS. There's a 4L80 in it now. The rear end will be the next thing we swap out, but for now, what's in there will work. Obviously, we did a block off on the firewall right there. It's disc brake. I'm doing the power steering right now, some power steering lines and stuff. Whole dash is out. Doesn't look terrible right there, but the whole bottom of the car was just, or behind the dash, there was just too much going on. It's actually really clean. It doesn't look like they hacked a lot of stuff, but you can tell by the quality of the Scotch locks that stuff was not very cool. I'm trying to talk him into updating this to an SS dash. This is just a Malibu dash. The difference is, well, I'm sure you know the difference. This has like a sweeping speedo and no gauges. And the SS dash has a separate tack and speedo and each actual instrument, each gauge. So that's what's going on with that. Still waiting on some parts. There's no big rush on that. He is Joey Chevelle. So it'll get done as it gets done. Ace hooked this up with full fuel injection. Fits in there very nicely. We bought a mid-mount kit from Holly. He found valve covers he liked. It's all coming together nicely. But once again, sort of a longer-term project. This is his 66, I think it is. C10 he's had for a very long time. He had it stashed in his garage. He took the motor out a long time ago. Was going to start working on it, and then he got hurt, a motorcycle accident or construction accident. I think he fell off scaffolding or something and just shattered his wrist. So he was out, down for the count. So this thing kind of got pushed to the side. He recovered, had to go right back to work, and he's been working ever since. However, he had been acquiring parts. He had a 383 built. We took it over to Mark, Hot Rod Performance, because he just got rotating assembly and the block. That would be called a short block. And he has acquired the correct parts and put it in here. Mark's spec'd them out some heads and a cam combo. Basically, the whole valve train, did the valve train geometry. Market Hot Rod Performance, and put it all together and just long block basically. Send it back over to us. We did motor mounts, found the correct headers for the vehicle with the motor, and put in a Steve Sharp transmission, just a turbo 400 I believe, and had the whole thing in and running last week. Fired it up and there was a little all the time, whenever you revved it, no matter what, there was a little rattle. And I'm thinking, man, what is that? And did a little more investigation. And I've already put it back together. I don't think I took any pictures of it, but on this oil pan, this is a 383 stroker, so it has a counterweighted crankshaft. And the oil pan has a little, I can't really see any weld marks, but I believe it was on this side. There's a little diffuser inside there just to stop the oil, a little splash guard. There's a windage tray that bolts to the bottom of the pan. You can see where the brackets are welded there. But right about here, all the way across, there's a little deflector is what it is. And that thing was not quite turned down far enough to clear the crank. And the crank was just barely just tapping against it when it went around. Not a big problem, but you could hear it, would eventually cause a problem. Thing would have fatigued or broke. Honestly, I think we would have revved it a few more times. It probably would have clearanced itself. But we weren't doing that. Joey had spent the money on this thing to get it done right. He sent the rotating assembly out, had it balanced, and had a lot of quality work done to it. So why take a shortcut? So I think it was Friday of last week. I snatched the motor out, flipped it over. Then I got caught up on some other cars. Now I'm going to just throw it back in. We've already done all the essential part of building the wires and fitting the exhaust and just all that stuff. So putting it in and taking it out is not a very big deal, as you will see right now. Okay, I am trying the new mics right now. Let's hope that this all works out. The last time we did this, I ended up with 45 minutes of no sound. So if that happens, this whole thing will be voiceovered. Right now we're going to go ahead and start getting the motor together, or back together, to get it back in the truck. Yeah, let's party. I should invest in one of those engine stands with the crank. We had a couple of them on the show, and I specified I wanted them. And as soon as I did that, somebody else helped themselves to them. Handled there. Where is the hook? So I got this cherry picker a long time ago. Excuse me. I actually loaned it out once for like 2 years and forgot. And then the gentleman I loaned it to, his name was Rocky. He passed away. But before he passed away, he discovered that he had borrowed it from me and left it in his backyard. Cleaned it up, put a coat of wax on it, and returned it. Nicest guy ever. Okay, so we had this thing turned upside down to swap the pan out. You could have done it, I guess we could have done it floating, like from the cherry picker, but you just feel better knowing that the oil pan went on absolutely right. There's nothing worse than a small oil leak that is just, you know what I mean? It's A, leaks are not cool, and B, it's so much work to fix it. You don't have clear access to the pan in the C10. So, little extra work now will save you a lot of work if it did leak. So this thing was upside down also, and oil was dripping out of where the oil line goes. So I'm going to pull that cap off real quick and verify that the distributor didn't just fill it with oil. Don't want to discover that problem. Oh, MSD, my bad. As I suspected, there's oil residue inside the distributor cap, which will create a misfire or prevent it from running. So that's awesome. Luckily, I have the cure for that. Right on. I think we're good. Man, I used to have a blower tip floating around here. It worked so well, but now I don't know where it is. It's okay. All right. Wiping off all the slippery residue. Feel good about that. Should be pretty close. Or not. Oh, here's a little tip for you while I'm at it. If you have an engine stand you use frequently, you see an old speaker laying around, smash the magnet off the back of it, stick it right to the side of your engine stand, speaker magnet. And then whenever you have your bolts and hardware, you stick it all right there. The other thing I did too on another engine stand is I welded nuts to the bottom of it, and it just holds everything. Other option would be to drill some small holes and just drop the bolts through. But the magnet, quick and dirty. I wish you could see how smooth that's going. The floor jack is underneath the transmission, and I was able to match the angle of the motor. It's pretty awesome. I think if I lower it down just a fraction. Right there. The gap just closed up. Bolt your finger loose. I feel good about that. Okay, motor's in. Now let's lift it up, slap in a couple of bolts. Not really much to see there. Oh, one thing I do like to do, glad I remembered, is I'll take a couple of header bolts under the vehicle with me, because sometimes the headers, well, this car specifically, the headers load in from the bottom. And you're able to load them all in and get them up in there and get your hand up and just put one bolt to hold them in place so they don't drop out and hit the floor. So take a couple of header bolts with you if the headers go in from the bottom. And you're working on the lift. There's lots of variables here. All right, set the header bolts down right where you're going to forget where you left them. Find all your extensions. And put them bell housing bolts in. I believe the bell housing bolts are 9/16 of the 9/16 persuasion. I like to use a little bit of a universal. Thought I had another extension that was longer and easier to use. It's funny wearing a mic because I'm trying to raise my voice as I walk away so that the phone will pick it up. In case you didn't know, I shoot all my videos on my phone. Sounds like Boys in the Hood just pulled in. 9/16 universal. Little carpet shark out there attacking. Something going on with a couple of these bolts. I don't like the way they're not going in. The gap is perfect. But the upside to that is I have brand new ones right over here. What's up, buddy? So my friend Tony D'Ambrosi just walked in. He didn't know I was recording. He thinks I'm crazy. What's up, Tony? Yeah, so it looked like those other bolts were a little too, I want to say, let's put it this way. If you want to use those bolts now, these ones right here, you need to pay a higher tariff. So we're going to put some grade 8 Henshaw America. So what's up, Tony? Do what?
I retired this morning.
You retired, huh? Yeah. All right. Do you have any cars there? Huh? Oh. All done?
No.
Painted it?
Yeah, all painted.
Okay, as long as the paint work's done. How old are you?
67.
Dang, you worked some extra years there. Congratulations on your retirement. Okay, exactly what I was telling you about. When you have the headers down here, you can load them from the bottom and use one bolt to, I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch this magic on camera. I know you're going to be motion sick. Yeah, that might get it. Also, too, a great tech tip is when you're putting headers on or an exhaust system and it's new, these are ceramic coated. Before you start it, wipe them down with just some cleaner, some mild cleaner. Don't go crazy with any acetone or anything like that. You can wipe the coating off, but you want to definitely wipe them down before you put any heat into them. Right, Tony?
Right.
All right. Okay, so header is almost in place. One bolt, two, stop it from falling out. Boom, handled. Well, that one's not going to do the job. Looks like it should be it. But we will see. Okay, to just make this thing a driver, we opted to just throw the stock fan back on, or a mechanical fan, and then we will be updating it when we get the new radiator to make it a electric fan. But for now, this will be just fine.
specific you want them?
Move parts around. What do you mean?
Cars.
Cars around?
Yeah.
Why?
Because your Chevelle's underneath.
Michelle's under
Corvette.
the vet?
Yeah. No, not the Chevelle. The station wagon.
Oh, just pull it out, park it out back. Keys are in everything.
The Mustang, I put it in
Uh, What's in 18 right now?
just the C10 and the 4.
Yeah, that's fine. We're not making any dirt over there. Boop, 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 boop. So nothing but free time now, Tony? And your house isn't falling off the cliff either, right? So you're set. I heard they opened part of that road again.
I don't know if they are.
They did. They showed it the other day. They were able to stabilize something or other. And... Huh?
It'll be interesting.
I think it's part of the road that they closed a long time ago. Like at the end of that, where everybody used to go down and park, and they shut it off. I heard they put in some sort of diversion. Okay.
I know it's been months of trucks going up and down the road.
Yeah. Okay, feel good about that. Okay, gonna throw some more parts at it, put the rest of the bolts in to hold the headers on, and then I'm going to... Okay, so I'm gonna put the rest of the bolts to hold the headers on. Don't forget the gaskets. I've notched these gaskets, so I can just put a front bolt and a back bolt in, and then drop the gasket right over it. I don't have to fight every one and hold and realign. It makes it pretty easy. Tighten up a few things. Drop the radiator in. Goes right in front of my biggest fan. That's really it. We had the thing running the other day, so I'll be right back. Joe, you detailing your own truck?
Yeah.
What the heck? What are you wiping it with?
Some all-purpose.
Oh, okay.
Sweet patina cleaner.
All right, so this thing's all together. Everything's tight. Pretty sure all the leaks are plugged up. Put oil in it. Drain plug?
Yep.
All right, that's a step in the right direction. Deja vu, it seems like we just did this not that long ago. We have not zip tied and put any dressing on the wire that comes out of the firewall back there at the starter wire and the alternator wire, or I'm sorry, the ignition wire. I will be adjusting that up momentarily, but for right now, we're just going to check it for leaks. This is how I check for leaks. This is called the Airlift. Matco makes this one, but a couple different people make them. They're pretty cool. Hey, Joey, will you hold this? Yep. Point it in the direction of whatever I'm working on. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So when we took this whole thing apart, we saved all the coolant. We dumped it in a 5-gallon bucket because it was on a lift. It makes it super convenient. Now, put this right here. Put that right there. Seems like it's maybe safe. And open this. Close this and open this. So it's putting vacuum into the entire cooling system. Look at the hose collapsing. All the hoses will collapse. When this gets into the green, we know that we can just close that valve and open the other valve and start backfilling the coolant that we saved. This has a little filter on the end, so we don't really got to worry about contaminants. Cool thing about this is if you have a heater core that's bad, this will tell you. It won't pull enough vacuum to fill. Same with any leaky hoses or anything like that. It won't be able to pull enough vacuum. I did this earlier, made a video, putting a motor in and stuff. Mm-hmm. I actually used the microphone.
Nice.
Well, I'm not using one now, but I used one earlier.
You'll hear about it.
Yeah. All right. We're in the green. Shut it down. Compressor just did a burnout. So I shut the air hose off here, the vacuum, the air pressure, the green vacuum. I'll just watch the needle. If it's got a leak, you'll see it right away. There is no leak. Now if you watch the hose, I'll open up the other one. The vacuum in the engine block and the cooling system just evacuates all the coolant out of the 5-gallon bucket. You can see it going down. Awesome. Oh. We have more coolant in a bottle somewhere?
I believe so.
That's quite a bit of space left in there. I don't think that's coolant.
Probably not.
What's that right there? Is that new?
This one?
Yeah,
This
it's
one's
in-
empty.
All right. Okay, so we're gonna get some more coolant, and then go on with this. It has so much space in there. It's clearly not full. Oh, the hose hasn't even decompressed yet. So, yeah, be right back. Okay, pretty sure we got everything handled here. What do you say, Jason?
Looks good to me.
Twin Turbo Jason stopped by to provide us with Oreos.
Yes, maybe.
Actually, no, that was a previous payment.
Yeah, previous day.
You found those in the refrigerator? Yeah. And anyway, all together, gave it the once over twice, hooked the choke up, which is something I don't often do. We live in California. That is a very pimp air cleaner. It matches your valve covers and your timing cover. Yeah. All right, so I think traction will probably not be an issue unless you look in the back and realize he has half of another truck back here. So traction probably, yeah, I don't know. Just drive around. It's a roller motor, right?
Yeah.
So we don't have to break it in. The exhaust not quite bolted up, fired up. That's everything in the recipe right there. When's the last time you drove this?
3.5 years.
3.5, because you had a broken hoof, right? Drive it out, buddy. Hey, does the brake work? Does the gas pedal work? Do they work together? Okay. Just making sure. All right, well, we got to throw a hood on that thing. We're going to do a little video later in the week of some shenanigans that shall occur with that thing. Trying to tear the thing up the first day he's got it running in 3 years. And that's it. Thanks for watching, you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. See you guys later. Say goodbye, everybody.